LMGs, a classic staple of Call of Duty Zombies. Everyone knows about it. When you think about zombies, the best guns you always think about are LMGs. In BO3 happened to be the Dingo, and in BO2 and BO1, the best weapons were always LMGs. Well, not so much in Cold War. In Cold War zombies, LMGs just aren't as important as it used to be because ammo isn't as important and speed rules all. Even though damage is still high, it isn't much higher than the other guns. So, today, I'm gonna rank the 4 LMGs in this game. I named it a top 5 because, well, that's what gets the views, but there are only 4 and I'll be ranking them today. Thank you for watching and make sure to subscribe and like. And let's get straight into this video. The M60 is definitely, without a doubt, the 4th best LMG in the game. Or, another way to phrase it is, it's the worst LMG in the game. It is just absolute trash and ludicrous. While yes, the damage output is amazing based off a few shots, the fire rate is horrible. It shoots literally like 1 shot per every 5 seconds. The LMG is just not good for that. But how about movement? Movement speed is so important in Cold War zombies where movement is everything. Now you can mantle up stuff, and just speed is important, especially when the super sprinters start coming out. And yet the M60 is probably the slowest LMG in the whole class. It was probably even the slowest gun in the whole game, excluding the ZRG and some of the snipers. The M60 is horrible and does not hold up a candle to any of these other weapons, especially some of the other weapons in the LMGs. While some of the other LMGs are top tier within the weapon tier list, I believe that the M60 is probably on the lower side of all the weapons in the game. I think the M60 doesn't have good enough movement speed for sure. And while yes, the fire and the damage amount it does is incredible, the fire rate just decreases the DPS by so much. I believe that the devs try to make the M60 a balanced weapon, but they weren't able to create a balanced weapon. Instead, they just created a really crappy gun. No one uses the M60 because it is like fucking carrying a brick, and it does the amount of damage a marshmallow does over time, including DPS. I believe that this gun would have been good if there was a higher fire rate to this gun, and I believe this gun could have been good if it was given better movement speed. Overall, this has to be number 4, the worst, absolute worst LMG in the game, because it just doesn't fit in Cold War's meta. Cold War's meta is all about speed, and as I said countless times over and over, this does not have the speed that you need. The RPD is definitely the 3rd best LMG in the game. It is a solid choice, and it isn't crappy like the M60. The RPD has a little bit of everything, but just a little bit of everything. Every other gun above this, well, the 2 other guns above this, have better both movement speed and DPS in my opinion. The RPD was a release gun, and yes, it was really good back then, and it still is pretty good. But I believe that there are many other weapons that outclass the RPD. It doesn't mean it's a bad weapon, it's definitely usable, and as you see from the gameplay, it isn't the worst gun ever, but there are better guns for these situations. I believe that the RPD does have a great fire rate, and I believe it does also have a really good DPS. But the problem that's holding it back is, just like all the other LMGs, it's just that movement speed is such a problem for it. I believe that if they just cut down the movement speed in half, this gun would be OP, but the movement speed is not cut down in half. I love the RPD. It is definitely underrated, but that does not mean it's a good weapon. It is not the best in the game, and I believe it would probably be in a tier rank, it would probably be around B. Now, the RPD, however, is definitely a lot better when Pack-a-Punch, and it looks amazing. I really like the look of RPD. It's just, we've seen this gun, or like variations of this gun before in other games, and the RPD sounds good, it feels good, and it plays well. I just wish you can move faster with it. But other than that, I believe the RPD is a very solid weapon. The RPD can fit in anyone's hands and can do good in anybody's hands. I believe that the RPD is a very good starter gun. but it's not better than the Stoner 63, and it definitely is not better than the MG40. Those guns I'll go into in a little bit. However, I do love the RPD. It is underrated, I believe, but the other guns above it are even more underrated. I believe that, yes, the M60 sucks, but the rest of the LMG class is definitely undervalued in the Call of Duty Zombies community. So let's go straight into number 2. The Stoner 63 is probably one of the best guns in the game itself. It has a great mag size, and I believe it does great damage. And unlike the other LMGs, it isn't held back by movement speed. I don't really particularly like the looks of the Stoner 63, but it doesn't really matter too much when the Stoner 63 is so good in game. Oh my god, this gun is godsend. I mean, it's probably within even the top 10 weapons in Cold War Zombies, and Cold War Zombies has a lot of really great weapons, including all the rocket launchers because they all have PhD slider now. But anyways, the Stoner 63 is amazing. It's good for movement speed, well, definitely good for movement speed, and it moves like an AR. It's just a bit slower than the AR, but it still moves insanely fast for LMG. And the ammo, you'll never have to worry about. You didn't have to worry about ammo in the first place in Cold War, but now you don't even have to think about it or even like get ammo. It is just have so much ammo in the clip and within the gun. And another great thing about this is the DPS. It does the damage of an LMG for sure, and has the movement speed of an AR. It is just the best of both worlds. While I think the MG40 is a better gun than this, I believe that the Stoner 63 is definitely at least top 20 or top 15 in the game, and I would rank this at an A rank or A tier, however you'd like to say it. And I believe that this gun can serve anybody well, especially when Pack-a-Punch. When Pack-a-Punch, it goes to a whole new level. It just becomes more than godsend. It becomes one of the best guns in the game. But anyways, with that being said, I believe that the Stoner 63 is a great gun, not only because, well, it sounds good, but because it has a great DPS, it has great movement speed, and those two things combined create the perfectly created weapon, in my opinion. Now, to number 1. Is one of the best guns in the, just entirety of the game. I think it's at least within the top 10, at least. And this is definitely the top of the LMG class, for sure and without a doubt. Its ammo size. The amount of ammo it can hold in one clip, one Pack-a-Punch, is 300. That is so much ammo, and on top of it, it reloads pretty fast compared to other LMGs. Maybe a little slower than the Stoner 63, but it still has a very good reload time. And on top of this, the movement speed is so good. It's literally like as good as the AR, and the damage it does is superb. Yes, it might not be as good as the M60, but the DPS it does is so good, and it feels so amazing. It feels so lightweight. But the best part about the MG40 isn't the movement speed, isn't the size of the clips, isn't how fast reload, or isn't even the DPS. The best thing about this is hipfire. When you tune this weapon in, hipfire becomes so OP. The hipfire is almost as good as some like dual wield custom made fucking pistols. This shit is so good, and oh my god, you'll never have to aim with this gun again. You can just run around with speed cola, just running around shooting without aiming even once. I believe that this is what makes the MG40 the best gun in the game. Not best gun in the game, but the best LMG for sure, and without a doubt. And I believe that everything else makes this gun just amazing. And Pack-a-Punch looks great on this, but obviously we don't use Pack-a-Punch if we got Dark Ether, if you know what I'm saying. But the MG40 was a blast to play with, and I love this gun. It's probably one of my favorite guns because you don't even have to aim to kill. So that is why I believe that the MG40 is the best gun within the LMG class, and I believe it is highly underrated. Even without Pack-a-Punch, I believe it's highly underrated within every gun area. I believe it's one of the best guns in the game. So, in conclusion, I believe that some of the LMGs are underrated as hell, and I believe some of the LMGs deserve the hate that they get. Yes, LMGs aren't as good in this game as they used to because movement speed is more important than ammo now. However, I believe that some of these LMGs are top contenders, are top tier weapons. I believe that the MG40 and the Stoner 63 are definitely weapons you should be using on a daily basis if you play Cold War zombies. I believe that the LMGs are good, and I think people should use them more. They're fun to use, and overall, I really love the MG40 and I really love the Stoner 63. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and remember to subscribe to the channel if you like my content, and like it. Please like. I'm trying to grow my channel, and I hopefully can get to 100 subs by the end of the year. Thank you for watching, and peace out.